Imagine walking to the market alone for the very first time, with only a small list and some coins in your hand. What if every step you take makes you braver than you ever thought you could be? Today, you will follow Prakit on his first solo adventure and feel every heart-pounding, exciting moment with him. Welcome to Easy English Official. In this video, you will learn simple English through a heartwarming story. Follow Prakit, a sixth grader, as he experiences his first solo trip to the market. Along the way, you will see courage, confidence, and the joy of taking small steps that make a big difference. Every word and sentence is perfect for beginners to read, listen, and understand. You can practice English while enjoying a story that is full of emotions, fun, and life lessons. Get ready to join Prakit on an adventure that is both inspiring and educational. Chapter 1. A Special Morning. The soft glow of morning light slipped through the thin curtains and rested gently on Prakit's face. The air in the room felt fresh and full of tiny whispers of adventure, as if the day itself was waiting for him to open his eyes. Outside, the faint sound of birds mixed with the quiet hum of a waking neighborhood. Prakit stirred beneath his blanket, feeling a spark of excitement he could not yet explain. He stretched his arms wide and let the warmth of the sun settle on his skin. Today was not like any other day, though he could not say why. Something inside his chest beat with a quick and curious rhythm, urging him to rise. The familiar scent of breakfast drifted in from the kitchen, carrying with it a promise of something new. Prakit felt the pull of the unknown as he swung his feet onto the cool floor. As he rubbed the sleep from his eyes, he noticed a gentle sound from the hallway. His mother's footsteps approached with a slow and careful rhythm, almost like a soft melody. Each step seemed to carry both happiness and a secret waiting to be shared. Prakit's heart matched the pace of those steps, faster and faster with every quiet beat. He sensed that this morning held a story he would never forget. The door opened with a slight creak, and his mother's kind face appeared in the warm light. Her eyes sparkled with a mix of pride and worry, a look Prakit had never seen before. She smiled in a way that felt both comforting and serious, as if she was about to give him a precious gift. Prakit sat up straight, his heart thumping with both excitement and a touch of nervousness. The room felt alive with possibility. His mother greeted him softly, her voice carrying a calm strength that made the air around them seem brighter. "Good morning, my brave boy," she said, and the words wrapped around him like a warm blanket. There was a pause, gentle and meaningful, before she took a careful breath. Prakit waited, wide-eyed, sensing that the next words would change his ordinary morning into something unforgettable. She walked closer and sat beside him on the edge of the bed. In her hand, she held a small folded paper and a few coins that caught the light. Prakit looked at the items with curiosity, wondering what task they might hold. His mother's eyes softened, and he could see a story forming in her heart. The quiet between them felt heavy with love and expectation. "Today," she began, "I have something important to share with you." Her voice was steady but tender, each word landing gently in the quiet room. Prakit felt his heartbeat quicken as he leaned forward to listen. A breeze from the open window brushed against his face, carrying the scent of morning flowers and a hint of adventure. He knew something meaningful was about to begin. His mother carefully placed the folded paper and coins in his small hands. The paper felt warm, as if it held more than just a list. Prakit studied it, noticing the neat writing and the careful way it had been prepared. His fingers trembled slightly, not from fear, but from the weight of responsibility. He understood that this moment was a bridge to something bigger than himself. Looking into his mother's eyes, Prakit saw both trust and a gentle worry. She smiled softly and said, "Today you will go to the market by yourself for the very first time." The words floated in the air like bright kites, thrilling and slightly frightening. Prakit's chest filled with a mix of excitement and uncertainty. This was no ordinary errand. It was a step into a wider world. He nodded slowly, letting the meaning of her words settle into his heart. His thoughts raced with images of streets, shops, and friendly sellers he had only visited with his mother before. The market was a place of smells, colors, and sounds that could feel overwhelming, but today it was his own path to walk. Prakit felt a spark of courage begin to grow. His mother reached out and touched his shoulder with gentle strength. "Walk on the side of the road and be careful," she said, her voice both firm and loving. The simple advice carried the weight of care and confidence, a reminder that she believed in him. Prakit straightened his back and gave a small but determined smile. The world outside the door suddenly felt bigger and brighter. As he rose from the bed, the morning light followed him like a quiet cheer. The coins jingled softly in his pocket, singing a song of independence and discovery. With every breath, he felt a new sense of purpose filling his chest. Today was not just a morning, it was the beginning of a story he would carry in his heart forever. Chapter 2. The First Challenge. Prakit held the shopping list tightly in his hands, feeling the paper crinkle slightly under his fingers. The coins jingled softly in his pocket as he looked up at his mother, who smiled warmly and nodded. Today was the first day he would navigate the world alone, and the mixture of excitement and nerves fluttered in his chest. Every step toward the door felt like a step into a story he was about to write himself. He adjusted the straps of his small bag, making sure everything was secure. His mother's eyes followed him with quiet encouragement, full of love and trust. "You can do this," her gaze seemed to say, and he drew a deep breath to steady his racing heart. The morning air felt crisp and full of possibility, carrying a scent of fresh flowers and distant bread from the bakery down the street. The moment he stepped outside, the street seemed wider than before, lined with familiar houses and trees he had walked past many times. But now, without his mother by his side, each shadow and corner felt new and slightly thrilling. Prakit's steps quickened, as if his own feet were eager to prove they could carry him safely. He imagined himself as a brave explorer venturing into unknown lands. As he walked, he remembered his mother's words, "Walk on the side of the road and be careful." The simple advice repeated in his mind like a soft chant, giving him courage. He kept his eyes forward, but noticed the small joys along the way, a butterfly resting on a flower, a neighbor watering their plants, and the morning sun reflecting off the rooftops. Each small detail felt magical. Prakit passed by the park where his friends were playing soccer. They called out to him, inviting him to join, but he shook his head gently and kept walking. He felt a strange mix of pride and responsibility for making the right choice. Today, he was not just a boy walking to the market. He was a boy learning to take charge of his own journey. A small dog ran past him, barking happily, and Prakit smiled. The world seemed alive and friendly, even though he felt a twinge of nervousness in his stomach. Each passing step gave him a new sense of freedom, and he noticed the wind brushing his hair in a way that felt playful and light. The street no longer seemed so wide. It was just a path for him to walk boldly. When he approached the market, the air changed immediately. The smells of spices, fresh vegetables, and sizzling food mingled together in a lively dance. Prakit felt a small jolt of nervousness, but he straightened his shoulders. This was his first true challenge, and he wanted to face it bravely. The market was noisy, full of shouts and laughter, but he felt ready. He approached the first stall, tomatoes neatly stacked like little red suns. The seller greeted him with a kind smile, and Prakit's voice wobbled at first as he asked for some tomatoes. But she handed him the best ones, praising his politeness, and his confidence grew. One small success was enough to make him feel like he could conquer the rest of the market. Next, he reached the dried fish stall. The fish's large eyes seemed to watch him, and he felt a shiver of fear. But he remembered his mother's advice. Speak bravely. Summoning his courage, he asked for the fish politely. The seller smiled warmly and picked the finest fish for him. Prakit's chest swelled with pride. He was proving to himself that he could be brave. Finally, he approached a small snack shop. His mother had given him extra coins to treat himself, and his eyes lit up with excitement. He carefully chose the snacks his mother liked and held them gently, feeling the weight of responsibility and accomplishment. Each step he took in the market made him feel stronger, braver, and more capable. As he walked home, carrying his purchases carefully, the world felt brighter and warmer. The sunlight danced across the rooftops, the breeze whispered encouragement, and even the streets seemed to smile at him. Prakit realized that this small journey had given him something much bigger than food. It had given him confidence, independence, and pride. When he finally reached his home, his mother's eyes sparkled with joy. She clapped her hands and praised him, and Prakit's heart overflowed with happiness. Today he had faced his first challenge alone, and he knew that many more adventures awaited him. The first step had been the hardest, but it had opened a whole new world of courage and discovery. Chapter 3. The Journey Begins. The moment Prakit stepped out of the gate, the street felt unfamiliar and wide. Without his mother beside him, every tree, fence, and corner seemed larger than before. The morning sun bathed the road in warm light, making the flowers along the sidewalk glow softly. He felt a curious mix of excitement and nervousness bubbling in his chest. His small feet moved quickly, almost skipping with joy, as he took in the new freedom of walking alone. The cool breeze touched his cheeks and tousled his hair, making him laugh quietly to himself. He noticed the scent of fresh grass and distant bread from a bakery, and it made the morning feel alive. For the first time, the world seemed full of tiny adventures waiting to be discovered. Prakit's eyes wandered to the colorful flowers along the path. They seemed to smile at him, nodding as if encouraging him forward. Each bloom held a gentle promise that he could do this on his own. He felt lighter, as if a small weight had lifted from his shoulders. The world that had seemed ordinary with his mother suddenly appeared magical and full of possibility. As he walked further, the familiar houses and trees now appeared like friends waving at him. He felt a new sense of independence, realizing he was in charge of his journey today. The sounds of the street, the distant chatter of neighbors, birds chirping, and the occasional bicycle bell created a lively rhythm that matched the quick beat of his heart. Passing by the park, Prakit saw his friends playing soccer. They called out to him cheerfully, inviting him to join their game. He smiled and waved but kept walking, reminding himself of the task ahead. The pride of responsibility swelled inside him, a feeling he had never experienced before. Each step became a lesson in focus and courage. A small dog darted across the road, barking happily, and Prakit giggled. Even simple moments felt richer and brighter now. He noticed the warmth of the sun on his shoulders and the soft shadows of the trees moving with the wind. Every detail of the familiar street seemed new and fascinating without his mother's guidance. He reached a small bridge over a gentle stream, and the sound of water made him pause for a moment. The ripples reflected sunlight, dancing like tiny sparks of encouragement. Prakit took a deep breath, letting the cool air fill his lungs, feeling braver with each step. The journey no longer seemed daunting. It felt like an exciting adventure. The street corner came into view, leading to the busier part of the neighborhood. Prakit's pulse quickened slightly, but he kept walking steadily. He reminded himself to stay on the sidewalk, just as his mother had instructed. The lessons she had taught him echoed in his mind, giving him confidence to continue. Passing familiar shop fronts, he noticed the colors and smells blending together. Fresh fruits, spices, and flowers created a sensory world that felt larger than life. The excitement of entering the market grew with every step, yet he felt calm, knowing he had made it this far. The journey itself was teaching him patience and courage. A gentle gust of wind carried the scent of hot bread from a nearby bakery. Prakit smiled, imagining how proud his mother would be when he returned with everything she asked for. The small tasks ahead did not feel overwhelming. They felt like steps in a story he was living. The world was big, but he felt ready to meet it. By now, Prakit noticed how strong the rhythm of his steps had become. He walked with purpose, a newfound confidence in each movement. The world around him seemed friendly, alive, and encouraging. The journey alone was already rewarding, and he understood that each small victory mattered. Finally, the market came into view in the distance, colorful and bustling. Prakit's heartbeat quickened, not with fear, but anticipation. He realized that the journey had changed him already. The streets, the flowers, and the wind had all been teachers, and he felt proud of taking his first steps alone. With a deep breath, he walked the last stretch toward the entrance. Every sound, color, and smell told a story, and he felt ready to face the challenges ahead. This was not just a walk to the market. It was the beginning of a journey where he learned the joy of independence and the courage to explore the world on his own. Chapter 4. At the Market. The moment Prakit stepped into the market, a burst of colors and sounds surrounded him. Bright vegetables and fruits piled high seemed to dance in the morning light. The chatter of sellers and customers filled the air, mixing with the spicy scent of herbs and the salty aroma of fresh fish. Every corner was alive, and Prakit's heart beat faster with excitement and awe. He took a careful step forward, clutching his shopping list tightly. His eyes darted from stall to stall, noticing every small detail: the neat rows of tomatoes, the shiny silver fish, and the stacks of golden snacks. The market was bigger and louder than he remembered walking here with his mother. Each sound, smell, and sight made him feel like he had stepped into a vibrant new world. The first stall he approached was filled with plump red tomatoes. The lady behind the counter smiled warmly, her eyes kind and inviting. Prakit's voice trembled slightly as he asked for some tomatoes. She picked the best ones for him, praising his politeness. A small rush of pride filled his chest. He had spoken confidently on his own. Next, he made his way to the fish stall. The dried fish looked large and intimidating, and he felt a shiver of nervousness. But he remembered his mother's advice. Speak bravely. Gathering courage, he greeted the seller politely and asked for the fish. The seller smiled and helped him choose the finest pieces. Prakit felt braver with every interaction, proud of facing something that had once seemed scary. He carried the tomatoes and fish carefully, checking the list to see what was next. His small hands gripped the bags tightly, yet he felt a growing sense of independence. The market, once overwhelming, now felt like a place where he could make choices and succeed. Every small victory built his confidence further. Finally, it was time to buy a snack for his mother. Prakit had extra coins for this special treat, and his eyes lit up with delight. He carefully selected 2 kinds of snacks she loved, imagining her smile when he returned home. This simple act felt meaningful. He was not just buying food, he was showing love and responsibility. The bustling market seemed less noisy as he moved through it. Prakit noticed friendly faces and warm greetings from sellers and customers. Each smile made him feel welcomed and capable. The experience was teaching him that courage and kindness could make the world a more approachable place. As he walked from stall to stall, Prakit realized how much he had learned already. Listening carefully, speaking politely, and choosing wisely gave him confidence he had never felt before. The market was no longer just a place to buy food. It was a small classroom where he practiced bravery and independence. He paused for a moment to look around, taking in the lively atmosphere. Children running, sellers calling out, and the mixture of colors and smells filled his senses. The world felt vast, yet he belonged in it. His chest swelled with pride. He was capable of facing challenges alone. Prakit carefully counted his coins as he made his purchases, making sure everything matched the list. Each transaction was a small success, a proof that he could handle responsibility. The once daunting market now seemed friendly and familiar. He felt a sense of mastery and joy at completing his task. As he finished buying everything, he glanced at the bags in his hands. Tomatoes, fish, and snacks, all accounted for. He felt a deep satisfaction, knowing he had done it all on his own. The weight of the bags felt lighter because of the pride lifting his spirit. The last few steps toward the exit were filled with excitement. Prakit imagined his mother's reaction when he returned with everything she had asked for. He felt like a hero in a story he was writing for himself. Each step reminded him of how much he had grown in just a short journey. With a final glance at the busy market, Prakit stepped outside, feeling a mix of relief and accomplishment. Today had been his first real adventure alone, and he had learned more than just how to buy groceries. He had discovered courage, independence, and a joy that made him eager for the next adventure to come. Chapter 5. A Lesson in Courage. Prakit walked along the street with his shopping bags, feeling a strange mix of tiredness and pride. Each careful step reminded him of how much he had accomplished on his own. The morning sun shone gently on his face as if congratulating him for every small victory he had earned. The breeze carried a sense of freedom that felt entirely new and refreshing. He reflected on the tasks he had completed, the polite words spoken to sellers, the careful selection of tomatoes and fish, and the little snack he had chosen for his mother. Every choice had required thought and courage, and he felt the weight of responsibility transforming into confidence. He understood that bravery was not about fearlessness, but about acting even when one feels unsure. Prakit noticed the smiles of people he passed on the street. They seemed warmer somehow, acknowledging his presence and independence. Each friendly glance reinforced the lesson he was learning. Courage is noticed and respected, even in small acts. His heart swelled with quiet pride, realizing that the world responded to him in kind when he acted with honesty and care. The familiar streets now felt like a place of adventure rather than routine. Every corner he turned reminded him of the challenges he had faced and overcome. He understood that each small task, even one that seemed ordinary, carried a lesson in courage and resilience. The world felt bigger, but he felt more capable inside it. He thought about his mother's encouragement and the advice she had given him before he left home. Her trust had been a gentle push, and her words now echoed in his mind as he walked confidently. Prakit realized that support and belief from others could transform nervousness into boldness. He felt a strong connection between the lessons learned today and the love that had guided him. As he continued down the road, the flowers lining the sidewalk seemed to nod in approval. The wind carried their sweet scent, reminding him that life's small beauties were part of every journey. Prakit understood that courage was built step by step, just like his journey through the market. Each moment added a layer of strength he had not known he possessed. The small dog he passed earlier came running again, tail wagging happily. Prakit laughed softly, feeling a lightness in his chest. Even simple encounters reminded him that the world was friendly when met with confidence. He learned that courage often appeared in unexpected ways through ordinary experiences that required thoughtful action. Pausing for a moment, he looked down at his hands holding the shopping bags. The weight felt lighter now, not because of the groceries, but because of the pride and confidence he carried within. Each success, no matter how small, had built a stronger version of himself. He realized he could face challenges he had once thought impossible. Prakit walked past the bakery and the colorful stalls, remembering each interaction he had handled with care and politeness. These small victories formed a chain, connecting to a bigger lesson. Courage is cultivated gradually and grows stronger with every choice made bravely. He felt empowered by this discovery, eager to continue learning and exploring. His steps became steadier and more assured, each one echoing with quiet triumph. The market adventure was more than just a shopping trip. It was a lesson in believing in himself. Prakit smiled to himself, realizing that confidence is not a sudden gift, but a reward earned by action and persistence. As he approached familiar corners on his way home, he thought about the challenges he would face in the future. Today's journey had taught him that even small tasks could lead to big lessons. Courage, he realized, was a companion he could carry anywhere, quietly growing with every effort he made. Finally, Prakit felt a warm glow of accomplishment fill him. He had ventured out alone, faced the market, and returned successfully. The confidence he had gained would stay with him, a reminder that even the smallest challenges, met with care and bravery, could shape him into someone stronger. Chapter 6. Coming Home. Proud. Prakit walked up the familiar path to his home, carrying the shopping bags carefully in his hands. Each step was lighter than before, filled with a quiet excitement and sense of accomplishment. The morning sunlight warmed his back, and the gentle breeze seemed to celebrate his achievement. Today, he had completed a journey that made him feel both proud and grown up. As he reached the gate, he saw his mother waiting with a bright smile. Her eyes sparkled with joy and pride, reflecting the happiness she felt for her son's success. She clapped her hands softly, her gentle applause filling the quiet morning with warmth. Prakit's heart leapt at her reaction, and he felt a glow of pride that made him stand taller. He carefully carried the bags inside, arranging the tomatoes, fish, and snacks neatly on the kitchen counter. Each item was a small trophy, a proof of his bravery and independence. His mother watched him with admiration, her encouraging smile making him feel that every effort had been worth it. Prakit realized he had done something meaningful on his own. His mother reached out and touched his shoulder gently, her voice full of love. "You did so well, my son," she said, and Prakit felt a rush of warmth spread through him. The words were simple, but they carried the weight of her trust and pride. For the first time, he felt truly grown up inside, understanding the power of responsibility and care. Prakit handed her the extra coins he had kept for the snack. His mother took them with a pleased smile, nodding in approval. This small gesture made him feel mature and capable, showing that even little actions mattered. He realized that independence was not just about tasks, but about thinking and caring for others. The kitchen seemed brighter than usual, filled with the aroma of fresh food and the morning sun streaming through the window. Prakit looked around and felt a sense of belonging, pride, and happiness all at once. Today had been an ordinary day turned extraordinary by his courage and determination. He recounted the morning in his mind, the walk, the market, the friendly sellers, and the small triumphs at each stall. Every memory was a reminder of the lessons he had learned about bravery, responsibility, and self-confidence. Prakit felt stronger and more prepared for the adventures that lay ahead. His mother hugged him gently, and he hugged her back, feeling the warmth and love between them. The embrace was a celebration of his achievement and her support. In that moment, Prakit understood that courage and care were connected, and that growth often comes from facing challenges with an open heart. He took a moment to look at the neatly arranged groceries, remembering each step he had taken alone. A wave of satisfaction washed over him. He had done what he once thought impossible. Prakit smiled to himself, proud of both his accomplishments and the person he was becoming. The morning continued peacefully, but Prakit felt that something inside him had changed. He walked a little taller, spoke a little clearer, and carried a quiet confidence in his heart. The world no longer seemed so large and intimidating. He had discovered that he could navigate it bravely. He thought about how small steps had led to big lessons. Every choice, every polite word, and every careful action had built his courage and independence. Prakit realized that growing up was not just about age, but about learning, acting bravely, and embracing responsibility. Finally, he looked at his mother and smiled. knowing that she shared in his pride and happiness. The day had begun like any other, yet it ended with lessons of courage, love, and achievement. Prakit felt ready for more adventures, confident that he could face the world with bravery and joy in his heart. Thank you for watching this story on Easy English Official. Prakit's journey shows us that even small steps can bring big courage and confidence. We hope you enjoyed learning English through his adventure and felt inspired by his bravery and growth. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. Keep practicing English with stories that are fun and heartwarming. Stay tuned for more adventures and lessons, and remember, every small step you take can make you stronger and braver every day.